Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included Spaced Out DLC. In the previous episode we prepared the oil biome in order to hopefully get access to unlimited oil in the future for plastic production, as well as petroleum and whatever else you can make out of oil. I kept on playing a little bit. As you can see here, there's just a little ways to go in order to supply the liquid pump with power, and after that we will also have to build some pipes in order to bring the liquid actually upstairs. And obviously we want to input it into the teleporter. Then on the other side, in our first world, we're going to need a contraption in order to process the oil and actually make use of it. So that is going to be the basic goal of today's episode. Let's see whether or not we can achieve something here. So maybe before we do anything else, I want to build some insulated pipes. Now the reason I'm gonna go with insulated pipes, at least when we are going through areas with oil or potential oil, is because I want to prevent the water from actually steaming up inside of the pipes. Now I'm not 100% sure whether or not we will be able to accomplish this, and this is also gonna take another while in order to actually build. However, what we want to go ahead and do, yeah, probably we can just go straight up here, and then here we're gonna get into a sensor. So let's check out for a liquid element sensor, and whenever it is oil, we want to continue, and otherwise we are gonna vent out the stuff. So right here at the bottom, we're gonna have somewhat of a collection area for random liquids, I would say. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and mop this up right away. I opened this up once again, so we have access to it. It shouldn't be too hot anymore. Well, there are some places where they can still get scalded, or at least get a heat stroke, but we should be fine for the most part. Anyways, once we have arrived here, I would say we can just continue with normal granite pipes so we can save a little bit on materials. This is then gonna go all the way up and then over, move over here into our input slot of the teleporter. Now right here, the other pipe, as you can see, I haven't hooked it up just yet because it is actually already connected to the system, and I'm not sure whether or not it is a good idea to already get started. Also, looking at my gases, there are some gases that I don't want in here. Well, I guess we could tolerate the carbon dioxide, since that is gonna go all the way down anyways. And then hopefully the natural gas is going to accumulate here in the top portion, so all we have to do is set up a pump here as well. Okay, then let's unpause the game and just hope most of that stuff is gonna get built very soon. We are also gonna need to set up a bunch of ladders in order to be able to access everything, is my guess at least. Maybe let's have a quick look at the first planet. Is everything still okay? Ah, look at that. We are pumping out the materials now finally. So a lot of that stuff was going down because it is above 20 degrees, and that is actually the case right now. Oh, wonderful. Now there can be a pot situation. Let's say this pool of liquid is already filled up entirely and we are still pumping down water. That would be a problem, right? Because then it cannot continue really. Yeah, that's going to be intriguing. Let me actually see. How is this active period? Requires analysis. I have never analyzed that. Okay, well, we can do that right now. No problemo. But basically, I need to know when this is going to get active again. Nails is taking care of that. At the moment, the geyser is dormant, and of course that also means we will be able to produce less. However, look at that. Right now we just received water below the 20 degrees mark, and therefore it is going back into the refinery. That is gonna change in just a second. Now it is above the 20 degrees mark again. Okay, so I can definitely see a situation where the water wants to go down, but it cannot do that. So maybe we have a secondary switch as soon as this liquid pool here is full. So we could check for a sensor here, for instance, on the top portion, and as soon as we register some liquid, then we could go ahead and activate the liquid shutoff or deactivate it, so more liquid is gonna go straight into the refinery, even though it is already hot enough. However, that will possibly lead to another point of failure where we pump in too hot water into the refinery. So maybe until we have this completely resolved, we should just go ahead and observe it. But for the time being, it is really important that everyone helps finishing this contraption, which of course is gonna be a little bit tedious since we only have one atmos suit checkpoint. The element pipe sensor is already in place. So what we want to do is we want to register oil, right? Because that's what we want to pump, which is listed under crude oil. So if it is crude oil, we want to shut off the vent, which means we are going to need the not gate shenanigans. Can I build this out of lead? I think I can. It should have like an overheat or melting point of 300 degrees. Let's go ahead, connect this and connect that. Now for the time being, I'm gonna get into priorities and I'm actually gonna tell Joshua to take over the operations, right? Because at the moment we have no machine that require operation. At least if I'm not mistaken. On the other side, Gosman would probably be more suited for that. So what if we set the operation to maximum as well? So he's got toggling and operating and decorating. And just to be sure, yeah, I don't think any other machine requires operation. What is that? That is farming or supplying. Yeah, at least if we don't build any other contraptions that require operation, then he should be taking care of the oil wells. Just to be sure, yeah, that is definitely operating. And we need to have those at a high priority, so as little water is converted to steam as possible. Now, I truly believe we need to speed this up a little bit. However, I'm not sure if that is going to have any effects, because as far as I know, this is actually the only thing they have to build at the moment in this world. So it doesn't even matter, I guess. That's what I'm talking about. Turner is just doing the most fabulous job as usual. I'm really proud of this guy. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, there we go. We got some more talent points. So with Joshua, we should probably get into cooking or more crop tending. I'm probably gonna go to crop tending since we already have everything required for the cooking. And I guess Gosman is gonna get into more aesthetic design. Yeah, why the heck not? Or we could do improved tinkering, since in this world he seems to be taking over that job as well. However, I'm not 100% certain about that just yet, so I'm gonna get into aesthetic design instead. Maybe we're gonna take on a fourth duplicant that is actually the operator. Come on, Turner, there's just a little bit to go. Wonderful! We got our pump hooked up, and that reminds me, I might want to automate this a little bit. So if we set up a hydro sensor, maybe in this place, yeah, I think that's gonna be the best. We then want to go ahead and hook this up to the pump, so we can say, for instance, we want at least 200 kilograms of oil in there before we start pumping things up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, oil is always going to be the heaviest liquid, so if we are lucky, we are only going to pump oil, but it could still happen that we are pumping water or petroleum, which is why we have this little place here in order to gather everything up. But let's see how that goes for now. I mean, I haven't hooked up the other side of the teleporter just yet, so I guess that doesn't matter. But what we can do now is connect this and receive a little bit of water. Wonderful. So the oil for now is just gonna get stuck in... Oh, okay, maybe it's not gonna get stuck. Oh yeah, there we go. I literally hooked this up already. I see the problem. Okay, this is a huge problem. I did not mean to do that just yet. So I guess what we have to do as quickly as possible is deconstruct a pipe here. That should go quite quickly. There we go. And therefore the oil is now stuck. Wonderful. And I can take my sweet time in order to reorganize this. I'm probably gonna set up something here at the bottom, since I'm most likely to put this behind a liquid lock anyways. And there we go, the oil should now be stuck, so we can at least observe what's going to happen with the oil reservoirs and everything. Come to Papa, you go right in there, and that is actually already working. And we can see oil is being produced. The heat should be about, you know, constant, more or less. If it actually isn't, we might have to put another block here, so this is filling up with a little bit of oil and then dripping over. But if we can keep up the heat, or, you know, keep it below, let's say 100 degrees or so, we should also be good. And now this is just gonna dribble down and everything. Wonderful. Let's wait for it to accumulate enough pressure at least once, so that we can confirm that this is actually going to work out with my operating priorities. It is actually producing about 3 kilograms of oil per second, so that's actually not even too bad, I have to admit. It's like a third of a pipe full. Another thing we're definitely gonna need is a second atmos suit dock, which also means we need some more piping here and possibly even some more power. Yeah. And it also means we need to deliver another suit. Maybe we can go ahead and do this already. We're just gonna craft another atmos suit, and we are gonna do something similar we did in the previous instance. We had to deliver a suit. I'm actually also gonna create a second atmos suit since we're gonna need that for the plastic contraption as well. Okay, seems we have to go with nails. This is the only guy that it's actually working with the priorities. However, nails, I believe, is in a different schedule, so I want to wait for the next day. Otherwise, she's gonna miss her pooping session and meal as well. I guess in the meantime, what we can think about is how we wanna go about in order to pump out the natural gas. And I believe it's gonna be the easiest if we also do this with a steel pump. Gonna place that pump right here, and I wanna connect it with some automation. We want to have a gas element sensor, right? And we can build this out of copper. So I want to detect natural gas in this place. And additionally, I also want a atmos sensor. So it does need to have a certain pressure. And the pressure we're going to measure upstairs here. So that's going to go right there. We then want to combine this with an AND gate that we could place here. Let's see, I only have lead. I guess this shouldn't overheat, but we will see. And then a little bit of automation wire. This is the first and second input, and if both of these conditions are true, we want to activate the pump. We then want to take the gases, the natural gas, and use it for something, right? For the time being, we're probably just going to store it. So for now, we're not going to do anything with it. I mean, it still has to accumulate quite a bit before we actually need to react to it. There we go. It is a brand new day. We're gonna move over here with nails, and then as soon as she's here, we're gonna disable this building. I believe that worked the previous time. There. No! At this point, you guys are just fooling me. Nails, you go over. Okay, she's got the atmos suit. No. Wait here. Come on. This is... No! You mother... Come on! This is absolutely killing me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell everyone to move over here. Just everyone, do follow my lead. Mima, Camille, you're gonna move over here. Ellie, yes, everyone. We have Ari, you disturbing mofo. And we have Ashcan, you go right there. Okay, now everyone is busy, which means nails should go here. Disable the building. Thank you. Okay, next up, nails, you are gonna get into that teleporter, okay, with the atmos suit. And we are gonna enable this building, and we're also gonna deliver another suit. Okay, that should all work out now. Nails, you should now unequip the suit, and you're going directly back into the other world again. You've done your job. Hopefully the teleportation isn't gonna throw you off too much. At the same time, we sweep this guy and we want to deliver another suit. So I can finally go downstairs with 2 different duplicants. That would be great. In the meantime, I guess we can already think about where we want to set up our plastic production, right? We are going to produce some more natural gas. So I'm guessing my natural gas storage is gonna be somewhere in this vicinity. And then we need a nifty setup for the polymer press. We could actually build this out of steel as well. That might actually give us fewer headaches. You know, usually I build the polymer press way before my refinery here. But since we made a more relaxed approach in this new DLC, I would say, things turned out a little bit differently. Oh dude, are you serious? 6.8 tons of polluted dirt left, and then I have to swap permanently to another electrolyzer system. Okay, that could be a problem. We need to solve at least in the next episode. Okay, I decided to put my oil refinery as well as the polymer press room right in this area. What we need to do to accomplish this is remove a couple of things. I don't think we need this deodorizer anymore. We're then going to get into insulated tiles since this is gonna become a very hot room, and I first of all want to replace this row. This is gonna be the top portion, and we probably go all the way down here. Now let me think. We need a liquid lock with an atmos suit station. So that means we're gonna need 2 tiles for that contraption, and then this would be the liquid lock. I guess, let me see, how did I do that? Yeah, I directly went down here. So we can do that, and that. Come on, this is gonna be my liquid lock. Actually, we need a little bit of space for the atmos suits here. So this can go. Wonderful. Gonna need something to fill up the liquid lock, and then this is gonna be the size of our room. This might be a little bit exaggerated. Yeah, we're probably not gonna need this much space. However, I don't really mind. Let's go ahead, build some ladders, igneous rock. And I guess since we have the liquid lock right here, I'm gonna ladder up this way. The lower room actually is going to be for my polymer presses, since they also produce some water. We can use the water in order to help cool down the contraptions. And then in the top portion, I'm gonna have my refinery. So the way I probably want to do this is I want to have 2 reservoirs for my oil, then we are going to refine it, and then on the other side I'm gonna have at least 2 reservoirs for my petroleum as well. Now looking at the oil refinery, this requires a little bit more space, so I think I'm instead gonna put the ladder here. That is a more reasonable solution. And this then on the other side should still give us enough room in order to set up a row of metal tiles here in order to help cool down the polymer presses, as well as a auto sweeper on the top. Actually, before I get into that, I should really confirm that. I would want to build this out of, you know what? We might want to get into wolframite a little bit. So let me cancel everything we are crafting here, and instead we're gonna craft a little bit of tungsten. How much do we need? Like at least 6 tiles. For now, I think I'm just gonna craft 10 pieces. Now, let me temporarily enable this again. Let's see, this is still above the 20 degrees mark. So for now, I'm gonna set this to 15 degrees. However, in order to ease the process for me in the future, I'm gonna set up another signal switch that is simply connected to the same cable here. So I can either use the switch or the temperature sensor in order to accomplish this, and I don't have to mess with the temperatures if I don't want to. Wait a second, I think I put this to the wrong degrees. I need to set this to 25 degrees so the metal refinery is being filled up. That's what I wanted to do. And now that I have my switch, I can actually immediately reverse that again. So back to 20 degrees you go, but it still is going to be... hold the phone. Oh, just forget about that. Of course, that is not gonna work out. Let's just, you know, I didn't do that. I would have to add a little bit more logic in order to make this work. Someone who is trapped. Who the heck is... Oh, Gene. You know, one way you could solve that problem is just by removing this tile. Just don't act stupid, guys. Anyways, the oil refinery is producing natural gas, so that's one thing we have to think about, which means I probably want a couple of airflow tiles right in this spot. And then we continue the ladder all the way up. Anyways, what I wanted to achieve is a couple of tungsten tiles. And let me see. No, that now immediately switched to another material. I mean, we could go with another material. But anyways, tungsten tiles are gonna go right here. Refinement, we then want polymer presses. We could build them out of steel in order to get the plus 200 degrees overheat temperature. But I don't actually think it's necessary. We could just go with iron, for instance. Actually, it is necessary because we have to go with gold amalgam at least for the 50 degrees temperature increase. So we are still gonna do it with steel, meaning I want 2 polymer presses. If I can, I would like to reverse that so the plastic is landing on this tile, which means then we can have an auto sweeper on the top. The auto sweeper can probably be iron. We might have to exchange that in the future, but I needed this clearance right here in order to be able to place it. We are then gonna continue into a conveyor loader that I'm gonna place right here. And obviously after that we need a couple of rails in order to get the plastic somewhere. Actually, thinking about this, we could just use a smart storage bin. That might be the better solution. Let's see. Smart storage bin, yes, you wanna go right here. And then as soon as the storage bin is full, we wanna disable the polymer presses so we don't overproduce the plastic. Sends a green signal when full, otherwise sends a red signal, which means we have to invert it because of course once we have it full, we want to send a red signal. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Something like that with a NOT gate right there. So technically we only need 5 more metal tiles in order to make this work. And we are then going, as I said, to place 2 of our liquid reservoirs here. We're pumping in oil right here. We're gonna put it into the refinery and then it's gonna come out as petroleum. We then want to store the petroleum at the other side of the room before it goes into the polymer presses. Maybe we can already set this up with a couple of pipes. Do I need something special for this? I don't think so. We can just go with granite. So let's say we're pumping oil in right at this spot. It's then coming out right there. It's then going over into our oil refinery. It's then gonna come out at the top, filling up the 2 other reservoirs. It's then coming out again, and then we want to lead it down. And I guess we can do that on the right side of the room. Now at this point I want to switch to radiant pipes and I want to make them out of iron at least for good conductivity. We're gonna fill up these 3 tiles and these 3 tiles just beneath the presses. And then I guess we want to go straight into the polymer presses. One goes in here actually, and this can be connected using normal granite pipes. Okay, wonderful. Let's let them build for a little bit in order to get a better impression of how we can do this. I guess another thing we can prepare that is temporary is a gas pump in order to get the initial oxygen out of the room ASAP. We also need to think about the power. I'm already using up this conductive wire a little bit too much for my taste. Let me see. We could probably hook up everything to this. How much does the polymer press take? We need 240 watts for the polymer press as well as 480 for the oil refinery. So that's a bit of a tall order. So maybe it's time to divide things up a little bit. We're gonna go with another power transformer and then, let me see. We have enough cobalt to reach that actually. My suggestion at this point would be to then go ahead and connect the left side of the base with this transformer and the right side with the other one. So for one, we could go straight down here, connect everything together. Let me actually go all the way down. This is then going to allow us to remove all the cables in between, but also the cables that are currently going down straight here. And we can do the same thing for the other transformer. So what I would want to see is a bridge over here, and we are going down at this point. Now I need to be careful with this. So yeah, I think I have to build this afterwards. So we're only going to build everything in between. Oh, geez, what did I just do? Okay, this is going down here. We can already go ahead and connect this over there, which, yeah, we actually save a little bit on cables this way, probably. Okay, I'm probably going to have to let them build now for a little bit. Alrighty, we're almost done with our mission. I decided to put up some more liquid storages, and I believe now we have our power issues sorted out. Yeah, seems good. So all I'm waiting for is that they finish the cabling here a little bit so we can start pumping things out. I'm actually gonna fill this gap up with a little bit of brine. I have that laying around everywhere, basically. We then also need another atmos suit checkpoint that I'm gonna place here and another atmos suit dock that I'm gonna place here. We're also gonna need access to the oxygen. I guess for now we are just gonna bring this straight over. Let's use this floor. Bring this over here. And I'm also gonna use this power line right here for the time being in order to power it up. That should be everything we require. Let's disable the building for the time being. We are also gonna deliver a suit, and we want to make sure it's this suit that is being brought. So sweep. Wonderful. The power is hooked up. We are pumping out the gases. Liquid lock is in place. We are just waiting for the oxygen. I actually decided to build the metal tiles out of steel because apparently we don't have wolframite in this world either. I need to import some gold and wolframite from my second planetoid. But I don't mind using the steel already since we have access to it. Why the heck not? There we go. Ashcan is actually doing it. You're my hero. Look at that. He's so focused. Looks like we already have enough liquid in the joint, so this can go. And the atmos suit is here too, so we're gonna enable this building, and people won't have to get the soaking wet debuff anymore. Oh, there we go. We actually missed the first venting. Actually missed it by a lot, but you can see now the natural gas is naturally spreading, and it seems to be going towards the top. So I think this is just gonna work out fine. If we have a look at the temperature, we are at 82 degrees. So I don't think we are even gonna go above that. Let's set this sensor to natural gas. There we go. So this is gonna detect that. And then if we are above 1,500 grams, that's when we want to activate the pump. So we still have plenty of time to do that. And look at that. This is slowly but surely filling. Okay, everything is coming together. I'm pretty happy. I also already expanded the pipe where the oil is going to come from, and of course it's going to go into our reservoirs here. But before we activate everything, I want to make sure we have this room completely vacuumed out. Now that might actually take a while, so I'm just going to install a secondary system to speed things up a little bit. Hold the phone. I think we have an oxygen problem here. Let me confirm that. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. We have to enable this signal switch. Maybe I should automate this with some pressure. Yeah, that might be better. So what we want is probably an atmos sensor. Let's put this next to it. So it's gonna enable and disable it the entire time, but that is fine with me. And this also means we can get rid of the switch here. Don't necessarily need that anymore. There we go. The atmos sensor I'm gonna put to send a green signal if the pressure is below, yeah, let's do 1,000 grams. Why the heck not? This way we don't quite overpressure the base, but we're still gonna have it active as long as necessary. In the meantime, these guys really have nothing else to do. However, I don't want to expand the base too much for the same reason. I don't want the oxygen to spread all over the place and kind of be a waste. Polluted dirt is going down even more. I think I need to activate this thingamabob for a little while, and that also means we need to activate the hydrogen generators. Maybe the next time when we build the proper electrolyzer system, we are also going to store the hydrogen in a more meaningful way. Yeah, right now we can barely keep up. Next time it is oxygen system time. However, this is still gonna be enough in order to, keep them alive. For now, I only want to finish the plastic production. Looks like we have achieved our goal. This should disappear soon. Yeah, I think the vacuum is taking over. Sometimes this is a little bit weird if there's just a tiny amount of gases left. That's what I'm talking about. It's going away. So we can take this apart again. All of this can go. The power connections can go. All of the piping can go for now, I guess. And now it is time to connect the oil source. So what is going to happen is someone is going to operate this oil refinery. However, it is going to overheat slightly until it has produced at least a little bit of petroleum. Then it's gonna release natural gas that is gonna be used in order to keep this cool. The petroleum is then gonna continue into the polymer presses, and until they have produced their first plastic, they are probably gonna overheat as well. No, actually they are made out of steel, so they're not gonna overheat, but they're gonna drop a little bit of water on the floor that we eventually have to take care of. There we go. The oil is actually already being filled up, and Nails is taking over the job. Very good. Oh, actually it is producing natural gas immediately. Interesting. Anyways, what we then want is probably a pump with a hydro sensor. Do we have that hydro sensor, please? Want this guy to go right here, and the hydro sensor is gonna detect when we have a little bit of water that we actually want to pump out. The water for now, I'm just gonna dump down below. I don't care about that for the time being. And then, of course, we are also going to need a gas pump for the natural gas. The gas pump is also going to be automated by an atmos sensor this time around, and we are going to hook this up right away. We are then going to take those gases and bring them somewhere else. For the time being, I don't know where, but we can decide on that very soon. Okay, now what is happening? Darn it, I forgot about the carbon dioxide this is actually producing. So there is another source of our rocket fuel that we can utilize. I guess that is not a real problem. For now, we can just go ahead and dump this down below, even though this is gonna require, yeah, we just need to build a ladder or so. But we can dump this down below here and then build a ladder in order to get up there and reach this tile. That's what I'm talking about. We are now a huge step further in the process, I have to say. So in order to speed this up a little bit, I'm just gonna disable the oil refinery for the time being, and other people can take over building my stuff. The hydro sensor I'm gonna set to above 50 kilograms, so as soon as we accumulated a little bit of water down below, we want to pump this out, and the atmos sensor I'm gonna set to 2000 grams. Actually above. I want to pump the natural gas out once we reach the 2 kilograms mark. There we go. Polymer presses are going for it. Of course, they are gonna heat up really quickly. However, as soon as they have produced their first plastic, we should see some water dropping down. Come on, you can do it. Wonderful. Now that we have access to plastics, we should be able to filter this out. Manufactured materials, of course, plastics, and that should trigger my auto sweeper. Okay, everything is working out. And we can see they should now be at a more or less stable temperature, filling up the water, recycling it, and of course using the petroleum that is going through here, we are further cooling it down. And then with that last pipe out of the way, we can enable this building again, and we should be done. Great, I'm going to observe this for a little while, and then maybe we are going to make some adjustments the next time. Maybe we forgot something, but I think so far this is working out and we have access to plastics. Thank you so much for watching, guys. With that out of the way, I'm going to wrap it up. Don't forget to support the video, leaving a like, a comment, and potentially even subscribe if you aren't yet. That would be absolutely fabulous. Have a great time, and hopefully I'm going to catch you in the next one. Bye bye.